power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Midtown-Alanta, where you are welcome. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. And you are that opportunity. So am I. So it is. Whoever you are, whatever path brought you here today, please know that you are welcome and celebrated. We know who you are. You are an individual expression of the divine life in which we all live. Whatever your ethnic background, religious affiliation, however you know yourself and call yourself, we are glad you're here today. You are welcome to be a part of this community in whatever way serves you. So our vision statement is, we are a strong, open, globally connected community centered on the clarity of principle through teaching, service, and practice. We create a safe and respectful environment that supports healthy spiritual growth. And now, our Declaration of Principles as written partially by our founder, Ernest Holmes.
A few of the Declaration of Principles we live by.
I believe in one God, one absolute power, and first cause to all things.
I believe that this power is perfect love, and it creates out of a desire to express love.
I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my personal experience.
I believe in the unity of all life, and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding.
I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all.
And so it is.
So grateful, hey.
Welcome back. So a practitioner is someone who's demonstrated the ability to use spiritual practice and spiritual laws to bring about great changes in their lives. They've demonstrated they know how to bring about these changes in others when asked. Licensed by Centers for Spiritual Living, they're available to provide spiritual guidance and support in the areas that you're looking for guidance in. You may contact them through our website, cslmidtown.org. There's a section that has our practitioners listed to reach out if you want or need help. Today, we've got one of our amazing practitioners with us to share good ideas in an affirmative prayer called the Spiritual Mind Treatment. Practitioner Emeritus, Norma Roberts. Thanks.
Good morning, CSL Midtown family and friends. And Vance, you must know you are superior in introducing people. Thank you so very much. But I'm so very happy to be here today at the end of 2025. The topic title selected this week by CSL is Release, Refresh, and Renew. And I thought, what a wonderful time of the year for a title such as this. It is time to let go of 2025 and prepare for all the good we can expect for 2026. We let it go. It's further stated that by releasing the old, we are able to awaken into newness, refreshed, renewed, and ready to go. There's a saying associated with the steps in prayer treatment. It's just to remind us of the 5 steps that we are using. The saying is, are you ready to receive? Are you ready to receive? The first R is recognition. U is unification. The next R is realization. T is thanksgiving, and then release. As you release, you prepare to receive. We are further informed that surrender and release are key principles in our Science of Mind practice of life. In order to embrace the new, we have to let go of the old. We can't hold both of them. We first have to become aware of what the old is. Be honest that we may still be holding on to something old, something that's holding us back. And then find the tools and the courage to release the ties and to let it go. A reading from Daily Word stated, as I look over my life, I can recall instances when working towards a goal was the right thing to do. I can also recall times when the wisest move was to step back and allow events to unfold. Paying attention to my intuition and moving in rhythm with life helps me discern when I should push forward and when I should just wait patiently. After all, if I rely on my efforts alone, there won't be room for divine order to unfold. Living in harmony with life and cooperating with the divine within is the key. As I release, I let go, and I let God. And now let's go.
Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. Don't you know, we're talking about a revolution. It sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper. Poor people gonna rise up and get their share. Poor people gonna rise up and take what's theirs. Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Oh, I said you better run, 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 run. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution. Yes, finally the tables are starting to turn. Talking about a revolution, oh no. Talking about a revolution, oh, while they're standing in the welfare lines, crying at the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know they're talking about a revolution? It sounds like a whisper. And starting to turn. I'm talking about a revolution. Yes, finally the tables are starting to turn. I'm talking about a revolution. Oh, no. I'm talking about a revolution. Oh, no. I'm talking about a revolution. Oh, no.
My pleasure to introduce our speaker this morning. Reverend Jeff Radcliff is a New Thought minister whose lifelong spiritual journey began in childhood and expanded through studies in unity, religious science, divine science, world religion, and a wide range of metaphysical traditions. Ordained through the International Metaphysical Ministry in 2011 and later through Divine Science in 2022, he continues advanced studies with the University of Metaphysics. Reverend Jeff founded and supported multiple online spiritual communities, including Giatti Ministries, and is a lifetime member of IMM, INTA, DSFI, and Anton. A U.S. Army veteran with a diverse background in federal service, radio broadcasting, education, and end-of-life care. He's known for his inclusive approach and calls himself a spiritual cheerleader, dedicated to helping others find common ground and spiritual empowerment. Welcome, Reverend Jeff.
Thank you so much, Vance. I appreciate the introduction. I'm rather disappointed that you didn't go with Reverend Jeff is in the house. That would have been great. That would have been great. So, one thing that I wanted to mention also before we get started, I have a presence here on New Thought Media Network with a show called Divine Science Everywhere with a couple of other Divine Science ministers. You will find that on the New Thought Media Network Facebook page and also on their YouTube channel. We broadcast live on Friday afternoons at 3 p.m. Eastern. No, that's 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. And then later on in the evening, I join Reverend Michael Mangus for the Friday Fireside Chat, also on New Thought Media Network. You'll find that at 8 o'clock Eastern and 7 o'clock Central. So thank you very much for having me, Midtown. It's great to be back. I had such a wonderful time the last time I was here, and to be asked to come join you again was just a thrill. And as you can see, my talk title was inspired by that awesome Tracy Chapman song, because we are here now on the cusp of a brand new year, and the New Year celebration is always about new beginnings. It's been a symbolic thing for millennia. Actually, the New Year's over. We're ready to start fresh and to begin again. And this time of year, I'm always reminded of the Roman god Janus, which is where we get the word January. He was the god of beginnings and endings. He was the god of gates and transitions and doorways and passages. And he was depicted as being having a double-sided head. He had two faces, basically, one that looked backward into the past and the other that looked forward into the future. So as a god of transitions, he had functions pertaining to life and death, war and peace, things of that nature. So as we stand at the doorway, getting ready to walk out of the room called 2025 and into the room of 2026, somebody invariably brings up the subject of New Year's resolutions. Local TV crews will send out street reporters and they'll grab people by the elbow and they'll say, "Are you making a resolution this year? What are they?" And people are always happy to answer that question. The only thing is that resolutions tend to be funny little things. People either love them or they hate them. They make them or they don't. The people who make resolutions do so because they have lofty dreams and pie in the sky visions of the new and better life they're going to have. And the folks who don't make resolutions tend to make fun of the people who do, because most of those who make the resolutions only keep them for about a couple of weeks, and then they just kind of drop off. People tend to lose interest. Studies have shown 2 weeks is about the length of time the majority of people keep their resolutions. Resolutions begin as ideas that a person's good is something that's separate from them, that it's out there as a future event. It's existing in some sort of nebulous yet to be. People wait for their good to drop out of the sky and into their laps. And did you hear Tracy Chapman sing about that? She said people standing in the welfare lines waiting. And that's resolution thinking. They're waiting for their good to come to them. But see, there's the thing. There's the thing. That's an idea that seemed to be belonging to the future. And if you see it in the future, that's where it's going to stay. Because if you're waiting for somebody to give it to you and they don't deliver, well, you're stuck. That idea is still out there waiting to be manifested, and you're out there sitting there with your hands in your lap waiting for somebody to give it to you. And people tend to give up on their good really, really quickly because they seem to think that it takes too long to manifest. And I think microwave ovens and high-speed internet have spoiled us in that respect. We're not used to waiting around. But the farmer, and I've heard this in some of the Science of Mind classes I've taken, and it seems like Unity uses the same analogy. Divine Science uses the same analogy as well, of the farmer planting the seed. The seed's got to grow and germinate before that plant comes up and we get a harvest. And that doesn't happen overnight. So resolutions, yeah, they're out there in the future. They're not going to happen unless something happens to make them happen. And what we do is we plant that seed from our mind and our heart into the soil of receptivity. And then we wait. But the farmer is not always inactive. He's still doing things. He's making sure that the weeds are pulled and that the ground is fertilized and watered. That's revolution thinking. Revolutions start out as funny little things like resolutions, but revolutions end up being big things because revolutions begin when people realize that the good they desire to see in their lives is already existent and that there are things that they can do to bring it into a physical reality. So the old saying, heaven helps those who help themselves. That's how revolutions get off the ground. People take an idea and they run with it. They do what needs to be done to make it happen. What most people don't realize is that change, real change, is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It goes back to the farmer analogy. So the events that spark revolutions, well, revolutions don't happen overnight, but the things that set them in motion, the thoughts, those can take place in an instant. But often the entire process of change takes a bit of time and a bit of patience. And so we look at Science of Mind textbook. Ernest Holmes writes, there's no stagnation in spirit. The drive of spirit, the universe, God, and thus of ourselves, is towards circulation and flow. As English metaphysician Thomas Triller wrote, my mind is a center of divine operation. I love this quote from him. It's a little lengthy, but it encapsulates it all so wonderfully because we can relate to it. My mind is a center of divine operation, and divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in our past experiences, but proceeding out of it. Therefore, since the divine, and we're talking the big G, the big God, spirit, cannot change its inherent nature, it operates the same way in me. Consequently, in my own world, of which I am the center, it will move forward to produce new conditions, always in advance of any that have gone before. Isn't that awesome? Now, how does what Holmes and Troward write about the lack of stagnation, about the expansion and fuller expression, how does that fit into the revolution mindset? Well, we're always at the moment of choice. Louise Hay taught that our point of power is in the present moment, always. Each moment is an opportunity to decide what we truly want and to say, I desire to see this thing happen. Here's what I'm going to do to start the process. We've heard the expression treat and move your feet. It means we don't just pray and then wait for it to drop into our laps. It doesn't work that way. We've got to do some of the legwork ourselves. It's said that when we take a step toward a goal, the universe comes running to meet us. And it's going to meet us halfway. And it's going to do the heavy lifting. We plant the seed. We set the direction of where we want to go. Then we can take our hands off, knowing that the divine mind knows better than we do how to get from point A to point B. And sometimes we don't get to point B before we go through C, D, E, F, and G and go kind of all the way around a mulberry bush, so to speak. So we do our part, let spirit do its part, and let divine order bring it to us as it will. A resource that I found useful in moving from resolution thinking to revolution thinking is Raymond Charles Barker's book, The Power of Decision, because Barker describes how failing to decide on what you really desire for yourself and then neglecting to follow up on that desire with concrete action, that is a decision for failure. We say things like, well, here's a new moment and I can make a choice. I think I'll choose to remain stuck right where I am. Well, chances are we're not saying it in those exact words. We're saying it more like, I don't know what to do. I'm overwhelmed. Now, I don't know about everybody else. I know how I handle being overwhelmed. I freeze, I shut down, I don't do anything. Evidently, a lot of people do it the same way because we speak those words, I don't know what to do, I'm overwhelmed, and we do nothing. And so that desire just kind of sort of stagnates. If we always do what we always did, we're always going to get what we always got. So it's up to us. And so if we find ourselves in a rut, we have to decide, are we going to stay there or are we going to rise up and move above all of that which has gone before? We can stay with the herd in that kind of thinking, the resolution thinking, or we can venture out into revolution thinking, which is something greater. In the 60s, the Beatles sang a song called Revolution. You say you want a revolution? Well, you know, we all want to change the world. And they go on to say, well, when you talk about destruction, don't you know you can count me out? Another phrase from the song, and if you want money for people with minds that hate, all I can tell you, brother, is you're going to have to wait. They're speaking of moving into that revolution mindset. And finally, they admonish, you tell me it's the institution, well, you know, you better free your mind instead. So that's what we need to do. We need to decide that we want what we want, we desire what we desire, but we can't just wait for it. We have to go out and actually put in a little bit of work, a little bit of concrete action. You got to do something if you want your life to improve. You can't just make the resolution. You have to decide on a revolution. And the time is now, not in some far off someday. You start to choose now. And making that choice is the first step in the revolutionary process. And by not choosing to begin, you're actually working on a resolution. Now, you know, there are going to be people out there who say, well, I made a resolution to do this or that, and it happened. That's because the moment they actually took the first step in making that resolution come to pass, they did something tangible to help the process along. They moved out of resolution thinking and into revolution thinking. So kudos to those who take that first step. Those are the ones who realize the desired change and their continued choice in the matter is what makes the revolution successful. So we're at a brand new year. It's a time for a fresh start. What are we going to change in our lives? We take a look at our lives and we say, you know, I'd like this, I'd like that. That's the whole idea behind the New Year's resolutions, right? So we decide what it is we'd like to see happen in our lives. This is our chance for a do-over and to take it that step further from resolution to revolution. American financier and railroad tycoon Edward H. Harriman said, "It's never safe to look at the future with eyes of fear." And that's where a lot of resolution thinking comes from. People see the things they want to change, and a lot of times those things are monumental, literally life changing. And it's because they're thinking that they have to make those changes, that they put themselves under such enormous pressure. They look into the future with eyes of fear. They end up freaking themselves out. They get overwhelmed and they do what? They do nothing. The book of Isaiah says, "Behold, the former things have come to pass, and I now declare new things." That's what we get to do. We get to speak those things that we'd like for our lives. We don't think of things we don't want. In a letter to the Greek city of Philippi, the Apostle Paul said, "Whatever's true, whatever's noble, if it's right, if it's pure, whatever's lovely, if it's excellent or praiseworthy, think on those things." We focus on our desires and our goals. We pay no heed to obstacles. Obstacles are only obstacles if we allow them to be. So instead, we turn them into stepping stones to take us to a higher level. This time of year, a few years ago, I had a brief crisis of faith. 2013 was ending and 2014 was beginning on a very sad note. I found out a couple of days prior to the new year that a friend of mine was the victim of a homicide. And at that time, his killer had not been caught. In fact, today marks 12 years since he made his involuntary transition. And my friend Brad's funeral was held on New Year's Day. So from then on, this time of year has been tinged with a touch of bittersweetness for me. It's a sadness at the loss of a friend whose presence has been keenly missed for over a decade. But I'm also happy because I had the opportunity to know him and to love him and to be a part of his life and to have him to be part of mine and to share a circle of friends that was very close knit. So I was happy to know him. There's a great metaphorical lesson to be learned through Brad's death. We buried his body because it didn't serve him any longer. He'd gone on to something greater. He'd gone on to a soul expansion, a fuller expression. So the new year is a great time to lay aside all those things that don't serve us any longer. We can put them to rest. We can bury them. We don't need them anymore. We get the chance to start anew. We get to move into an expansion, a fuller expression. In the late 1950s, a man named Charles Dedrick founded a group called Synanon, which was a self-help group community for drug abusers and alcoholics. And a saying attributed to Dedrick was very popular in the 60s. You probably have heard it, and maybe you have not heard it for a long time. But attributed to Dedrick was this phrase, "Today is the first day of the rest of your life." In the book of Revelation, the author, John of Patmos, has a vision in which he sees a new heaven and a new earth. And he quotes God as saying in the vision, "Behold, I make all things new." Well, this is something that you can have for yourself. I can have it for myself. Through faith, we allow God within to make all things new for our lives. We let the old things pass away. We bury them because they don't serve us any longer. We rise up and we walk in a newness of life. 2025 is over. 2026 is just beginning. 2025 has been quite a year for me. I discovered new opportunities. I made new friends. I came through a health crisis and had a couple of hospitalizations along the way. I saw good times and I saw bad times. I gained in some areas, I lost in some areas, but I'm better for all of it. And I'm looking forward to the new year and whatever new events and opportunities and things there are to come into my life. But the stuff that I went through that didn't serve me, I can leave it behind. I can leave it in 2025. We're at that doorway now. We're in the room of 2025. We're preparing to walk through that doorway into 2026. It's that Janus energy, the god Janus. We're walking through the doorway, through the portal, through the passage. An ending is now becoming a beginning. It's a new year. It's the first day of the rest of our lives. So how that life turns out is up to us. It's our chance to start over. It's like a spiritual Montessori school. We get as many do-overs as we want. So this is our chance. This is our time to move from resolution to revolution. And so with that in mind, let's just take just a brief moment and close our eyes and settle in, breathing in and out, knowing that as we do, breathing in, we breathe in the newness of possibility. And breathing out, we release all those things that don't serve us anymore. We breathe in again, preparing to step into everything. And we breathe out and release. Ernest Holmes said that God is spirit, and spirit is substance, and substance is supply. And for most people, the word supply makes them think of money, financial things. But supply is anything we desire it to be. Whatever good we could have for our lives is supply. God is supply. So as we breathe in knowing that we are in a field of infinite potentiality. The opportunities are eternal and limitless. The only thing that stops us is ourselves. And so we breathe out the reluctance to act. We breathe out the idea that we can't have our good because we can. We're surrounded by it. So let's leave 2026 and that field of potential in our future. Let's leave it in that old mindset because it's no longer a future thing. It's a here and now thing. And as we move out of 2025, we look at all the opportunities we had, and knowing that some things worked, some things didn't, but we did the best we could with what we had to work with, which was our minds. And now we move forward with revolution thinking into 2026. And we allow that to be our truth. And we are so grateful that it is what it is. And we release and let go and trust. And so it is. Midtown, thank you again so much for allowing me to be with you today. I have had a wonderful time every time I show up here, and I look forward to maybe doing it again. Namaste.
Thanks, Reverend Jeff. Namaste. Namaskar. So we'll see you on Zoom in just a little bit for a discussion. There's a few people over there already. And now I'd like to do our New Minister Sacred Covenant Easy Prayer. You can download this from our website, cslmidtown.org. Say this with me. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. I know that I am one with this life that is God. I therefore know that I am one with all of its beloved, blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to express spirit, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of spirit as principle. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written, principle is not bound by precedent, It operates according to law and is always available to those who are willing to align themselves with it. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister before me as inspiring spiritual oneness through wisdom, love, and authenticity. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself. For I am inspired to live as love in the expression of principle. I am awakening the wisdom within me by clearly communicating the principles of universal truth. I am a conduit of divine love, wisdom, and healing energy, recognizing the inherent wholeness within all beings. I am offering teachings, classes, and mystical studies grounded in spiritual principles to cultivate inner wisdom, personal transformation, and empowered living. I am extending the love, compassion, and transformative power of spirit into the wider community, fostering connections that heal, uplift, and support individuals in their unique journeys. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will express spirit and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. So I want to thank everybody for this year, since this is the last Sunday in the year, for your gracious contributions that have kept this work going. We do have an opportunity going into 2026. We have a donor for a matching contribution for this Sunday that we are in person, which is actually next Sunday. The first Sunday of the month, we're in person at the Garden Hills Community Center, and that costs us $180 a month to rent that facility. And so we've got a matching donor. So if you feel so led to join in that match, please do. And if you would, say with me our affirmation of prosperity. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is. You can donate at cslmidtown.org/donate and do either a one-time contribution or an ongoing contribution, whatever your heart calls out to you to do. So now we've got a few announcements. I want to thank Reverend Norma for being our practitioner today. January's theme is Ancestral Wisdom, New Thought. Our speaker next week in person will be Reverend Susan Zoller, and she's got a talk named Elevating Your Expectations. The adult study group meets on Sundays at 10 a.m. on Zoom. You can get there by going to cslmidtown.org, going down to the Zoom channel and clicking the link for that and putting in the passcode. And something saved to date for Saturday, January 17th. We've got an event that we're cooperating with Trinity Centers for Spiritual Living. We're going to put this on the website on the calendar, and that there's a flyer that you can put up right after this that talks about it. It's at 1 p.m. on that Saturday. It's a discussion for us who are in New Thought, but to invite other people who have maybe heard of us but don't know much about what New Thought is or religious science is, to get an opportunity to go that. And for people that have been around for a while that haven't joined us, it's an opportunity for that too. So with that, share that slide, maybe make it big because it's tiny there. And there you go. Thanks, Diego. So there's a lot going on. 3 centers so far are participating in that, and we'd love to see you there. So let's say our affirmation of life and go into the week. I leave this place now knowing something better than I knew before. I go forth into the world with a heart full of love and a mind full of good sense. I look at the world in a greater way, knowing that I have within me everything I need to create the life I desire. I give thanks for this understanding, and I am grateful for the spirit of life that lives through me. And so it is. Have a great week, everybody. Enjoy your celebrations, and we will see you next week, or we'll see you over on Zoom in just a minute. Thanks.
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey, oh yeah, grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful. Every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. I'm so grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am so grateful. Hey, grateful. I just count my blessings. Grateful. I just count my blessings.
There is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.